What if instead of just being a bookkeeper, you became the go-to financial partner for your clients? Think about that for a second. Let me just restate that. What if instead of just being a bookkeeper, you became the go-to financial partner for your clients? Well, that's what happens when you start building an ecosystem. You're not just offering bookkeeping, you're offering payroll, tax advisory, even strategic planning. Now you're not just valuable, you're basically irreplaceable.
Once you've done that first acquisition, the next one gets a whole lot easier. You've got the reps in. You know how to structure the deal. You know what you're looking for, and more importantly, what to avoid. That's when you start to think bigger. What if instead of just owning one bookkeeping business, you acquired another one, or a support company that really complements your services, like a payroll firm, a VA agency, a CPA? This is how people go from just a few clients really to building an agency. Acquisitions are not about one deal. They're about a model for exponential growth. Deanna and I started with one, and now we're moving to 8. The first one teaches you the process. After that, you're in a position to stack acquisitions and create something way bigger than I promise you could have ever imagined. And the great thing is Deanna and I are going to be here with you every step of the way through your entire journey.
Bill, before you go on, I just something that you mentioned just a little while ago is, you talked about, hiring the support, the different services that complement you. We call that Aqua Hire. And I'd like for y'all to really understand what that is. That's you're acquiring the things that you may already need, but rather than paying for those services, you're acquiring those. Does that make sense? I just wanted to make sure you guys understood that when he said that.
Yeah, and we're going to dig into that here in just a second, a few more slides. So I tell you, you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not a numbers person, or I've never run a business before. That's okay. I guarantee you that's totally okay. You don't need a degree. You don't need a certification. You don't even need to feel 100% confident right now. I've seen people who drove trucks for a living, who worked in healthcare space, who, or who were even stay-at-home parents, go out and acquire businesses with little or no money out of pocket. Indiana, in her world, where she's going to talk about the little end of the world that she's come in, she's seen people come from, backgrounds all over the spectrum. You just need to be willing to show up. You need to be willing to ask questions. And this is the most important thing of it all. You need to be willing to take action. Here at the Academy, we've had students who were stay-at-home moms, teachers, corporate dropouts, even people who have never heard of QuickBooks before, and now they're business owners with real revenue and real freedom. Our goal is to teach you how to accelerate that and accelerate that quicker. If you're coachable, you're hungry to learn, and you're ready to stop playing it small, this absolutely will work for you. There is no experience required.
All right, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is what we call Aqua Hire. So we've been talking about acquiring bookkeeping businesses, but there's something most people overlook. It's what if you could acquire the business just to gain access to the people? Like that's what we recommend. That's what we say is Aqua Hire, because you're acquiring the hires, the people that you want. You're not just buying clients, you're buying the capabilities. So like, let's say, for example, a media agency, you need a media agency to do ads and marketing. Well, instead of just paying for that, you're going to acquire a marketing agency. Instead of hiring VAs, you're going to acquire the VA firms, right? Does that kind of make sense? I want to make sure you put in the chat yes. All right. All right. So if you acquired a small CPA firm, now you've got a built-in referral partner, or better yet, a tax arm for your business. Imagine just doing that, acquiring that part of it. Or maybe you acquire, like I said, that marketing company that already knows how to generate leads for service-based businesses. That means you get to stop guessing at your marketing and you start using a system that already is working. And you're no longer now paying for that. That's the best part, right? We've also seen students that have taken these VA agencies, payroll companies, even fractional CFOs, all which are going to expand your capacity overnight. So instead of like building your dream team, like maybe one hire at a time and hiring and hiring and hiring, you just buy the team. That's how you're going to start thinking like a CEO and not like a technician. And it's one of the smartest ways that you can build your bookkeeping empire.
And Deanna and I have actually done this with other businesses that we
Mhm.
built out that portfolio that complements another business. That's what's so great about that at Aqua Hires.
All right, so let's do this. Take this one step further. What if instead of just being a bookkeeper, you became the go-to financial partner for your clients? Think about that for a second. Let me just restate that. What if instead of just being a bookkeeper, you became the go-to financial partner for your clients? Well, that's what happens when you start building an ecosystem. So think of, you're not just offering bookkeeping, you're offering payroll, tax advisory, even strategic planning. Now you're not just valuable, you're basically irreplaceable. And this is how you're going to create high margin recurring revenue, because when a client trusts you with one thing, they're way more likely to trust you with everything. Does that make sense? Think about that. Everything. And the more pain points that you advise, or the more pain points that you solve and advise for them, the more value you grow up. And the less that you have to chase new business, because they're going to bring you more business. They're going to keep giving you additional business and giving you referrals. You own that entire full journey. And that's how you build real lasting wealth.